Hi, my name's Sam Regner, and I am an academic success coach. Today, we'll be going over some helpful tips to keep in mind when emailing your professor. Let's get started. The first thing to keep in mind when emailing your professor is to always use your Tulane associated email address. This helps to identify you as a student and not just a random person with a Gmail or Hotmail account. This could help with getting a faster reply from your professor. The next thing to keep in mind is your subject line. Your subject line should always be short and to the point and identify what you're about to request. So for this particular email, I'll use the example of asking for a meeting outside of office hours. So a good subject line for this might be as simple as meeting request. Great. Moving on. So the next thing that your professor is going to see is how you greet them. It's important to keep it very professional throughout the email. You could say something like hello or dear. If they're a doctor, you always want to identify them as doctor. If they're not, you can just use professor and their last name. We'll say Smith for today. Great. When writing the body of your email, it's very important to first identify yourself. It's likely that your professor might know who you are, but it's really important to give them a reminder since they teach so many students. Some helpful tips to keep in mind is to use your first and last name, and then also identify the course that you're taking. As you can see, I identified myself and I explained which class that I was in. That way he or she knows what I'm referring to. Next, when you're identifying what your email is about, it's important to get clear, keep it short, and get to the point. Great. So as you can see, I was very specific and my sign-off was professional. It's important to always use your first and last name when dealing with professors. Now, before you send, some things to keep in mind is to always reread what you've written. Dear Professor Smith, my name is Sam Regner and I am in your Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 12:30 p.m. calculus class. Due to a class conflict, I am unable to attend your regularly scheduled office hours. Would you be able to meet on Monday or Wednesday after 2 p.m.? Please let me know which day and time works best for you. I look forward to hearing from you. My best, Sam Regner. Excellent. So I'm going to stop sharing and just give a couple more helpful hints to keep in mind before you send off your email. It's important to never use emojis or shortened words. We understand that this isn't an assignment, but it's also you're having a professional communication with your professor. So keeping it as formal as possible is always the best side to lean on. Always keep in mind proper grammar, proper spelling. If you have to give any personal information, ensure that it still sounds as professional as can be. One example of this might be if you can't make class, your professor doesn't really need to know why. Just get to the point of what you're trying to ask. If you need any other assistance when writing an email to a professor, feel free to reach out to Success Coaching. We'd be happy to schedule a meeting and go over this with you. Thanks so much for your time.